with the beauty industry, you know, a lot of our people, we like to try to get into that industry. But you've been able to build a successful business in that industry. What were some of the ways that you like differentiated yourself in the beginning from like other beauty brands?
Right. So for me, it was finding out as a consumer what things that I wasn't getting when I went into other stores. Right. So I felt like I wasn't getting customer service. I felt like I wasn't getting variety. And then when I started my business, I created all of the things that I wasn't getting as a consumer. And that's really what sets us apart. We just do the things that other stores don't. I remember, having a Black girl, we got our braiding appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, the beauty supplies don't open till 9. So I was late to appointments. I had to cancel appointments. So now as an owner of a retail store, I'm like, well, we're going to open up early because girls have early appointments.
Mm-hmm.
That people know in our neighborhood, we're the store that's open at 8:30. That's unheard of. Beauty supplies don't open till 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, sometimes even 11. So doing those things that I noticed other stores weren't doing sets us apart. The customer service, the availability of hours and products, are just things that people have not competed with us with, and that's what we do differently.
I love it.
Be what you want to see, right? Like if you don't see it, be it.
Nah, yeah, for real though. You got to be the change that you want to see.
Yep. So with that, I think I asked all our questions with that, the beauty industry.
Yeah. I love talking about the girl cave all day.
It's so much more that you do. Like it's so much more. Like you got real estate, you got this medical consulting firm, and I kind of just want to know, like, what was the start of your real estate journey?
Yes. So I saw my grandfather be a developer, but with the girl cave, I realized that retail is so up and down. It's like one day I'll have a great day, and then I'll have a day where I lose money sometimes, right? And so I said, well, what can I put my money into that's going to be sustainable? Because retail is so fickle. So I just started saving my money. Everything that I made from the girl cave, I put it aside, and I brought I didn't do it in Los Angeles because the real estate here is
it's smart.
But I went out to a small city in Bakersfield, Taft area, and I just brought, like a little flip. I thought I was going to flip it. I ended up loving the work that I did in the house. So I kept it. I kept a renter. And I did that again in the city of Bakersfield. And then I looked up, and because I moved out of LA because it's so overpopulated and kind of went outside of the city, I was like, oh, okay, this is something that I can figure out how to do with my earnings from the girl cave. And that's just what I did. And since I started managing the properties of my own, I said, well, I know how to manage properties. So I started reaching out to other property owners and asking them if they wanted me to manage their properties. And I started doing it for my grandfather. I started doing it for my sisters. I started doing it for myself. And then it just kind of grew into a property management company.
Hey, I love it.
Come on, man.
I love it. Did you just peep that she said the whole family owned the properties? I like that shit. Yeah, that's a black. Hey, y'all a Renaissance family.
It's so much to dissect it, man. Like she was just trying to just slide it all in there. Like, come on, man.
I love it though. I love it. So are you glad that you decided to do the buy and hold versus the flip for that first property?
Absolutely. So in the moment, I'm like, okay, this is a cheap property. Somebody had passed away in the property and it became condemned. And I was like, okay, we're just going to flip this and get rid of it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so proud of my work. I'm like, this is nice. I don't want to sell this. And while I was building out the house, I got a lot of people asking, well, are you going to rent it? Are you going to sell it? And one of the young ladies that had left her number while we were doing construction ended up being a great tenant. She's been there the whole time. She's been there for 4 years since I first brought that property as a tenant. And I actually don't buy and flip because I think here in LA everybody does it. And it's just so the margins are so small and there's so many mistakes to be made. And I try to my grandfather used to tell me this. He said, go find a property in a place that nobody wants and make it desirable. And so that's what we've been doing, going out to places outside of Los Angeles. Bakersfield is 2 hours away, but people still need to live. People still need a place to live. So instead of buying something for $1 million down the street here in LA, why not go to Taft and buy something for $50,000 and make it work there? And it's worth it.
And I mean, you still, the rent in Taft gonna be what, like, you still gonna get greater returns on that investment than going stick yourself in LA. So that's beautiful.
Exactly. Yep. So that's what we've learned. Just, you can't do what everybody else is doing. Everybody here in LA is a real estate investor, a flipper, a real estate, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
And the market is just oversaturated here. And people that don't have probably millions and millions and millions of dollars can't be creative here because there's just no room for that. So my sister, who's an attorney, we decided we were going to like go out and just kind of get out of LA and not feel the pressure of having to keep up with these big investors and real estate conglomerates. It's impossible. Well, it's impossible. It's impossible now. It will be soon.
I love that. Keep that, that thinking in the mind. So I do have another question, Leah. With the with y'all property, I know y'all decided to rent it out. And you decided to be your own property manager because you had the experience from with your grandfather, or like you so you knew that. So what was it like starting up that company? Like, was it just all based on previous experience, or like did you have to go through some bump in your head for that one too?
Right. So I'm really fortunate because I have two sisters. And so they are just as ambitious as I am. And so we really work together when we're working on projects. So when I kind of had the instinct that I wanted to do the real estate, my sister was like, well, let me set it up for you. Thank God she's an attorney. So she saw my passion and she kind of got, piggyback with me. So I can't take credit for it by myself. Mm-hmm. I have two sisters that we kind of push each other and we see each other's visions and we all kind of hop on whatever one person is doing at one time. We all hop on together to help that person get them through the door. And then it's like, okay, well, it's my turn. I want to do a beauty supply now. So everybody help me. And then my sister is like, well, I want to do a real estate company now. So everybody hop on board and help me. So we really work together and it's exciting because we all have different passions, but we help each other.
But that's beautiful. And like, that's the point of family. A lot of people, oh, you can't work with family. You can't do this. But no, why not? Why wouldn't you want to build with your family? Like, I don't care. Even if it goes
hard working with family though. I will say my sisters and I probably every other weekend we ain't speaking.
But I'm pretty sure even still though, like since she's an attorney, even if something goes south, like bad blood or whatever, y'all still are going to be able to work it out through an agreement and y'all still coming out ahead as versus not doing it together at all. If you were to go do it with a complete stranger, you'll probably come out worse than you would with your family.
Yeah. And so what we always tell each other is this, always, if you're mad at me, that's fine. But what's the goal? Get back get back in the game. You can be mad. You don't like the way I talk to you, but we're trying to finish this project. Mm-hmm. So, we take a break and then we come back to it. So it always works out, but it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard working with family, especially three girls. We butt heads a lot.
Okay, I'm glad you say that. So how do y'all keep it business versus personal?
We don't, that's the problem. No, I just think that we try to let's talk about balance. One of my kids just barged in. Girl, I'm doing an interview. Go. So what we just try to do is when we're upset with each other is just to give each other like space and a break and then come back to it with a clear head. Mm-hmm. So you're right. You do get further with your family because you guys should and usually have the same interests, right? And so I know with my sisters, our end goal is the same. How we get there and how we think we should get there might be different, but our goal is the same. So we just learn to step away. She's not talking to me this weekend. That's fine. I'm gonna call her on Monday and we're gonna get this done.
Hey,
I like that though. Like
it's a system at the very least. Look, we get mad, we get over it, we get back to work.
It's like a marriage. It's like you could be mad at me, but you ain't leaving.
I wish I had something to say hello.
Yes, indeed.
That's hilarious. Let's see. Do we have any more points we was trying to get into?
I know I mentioned the medical consulting firm. Is that more so like you helping your husband? Because I know your husband is a doctor.
Yes, I had to push him because he, my sisters and I came from a family of business owners and my husband worked for USC for 20 years. I'm like, man, they dog y'all over there. No shade to USC, but they dog people over there. It's not as lucrative as you think. There was a lot of times that he had to work through holidays. There were a lot of times that he couldn't go on family vacations. There was a lot of times that he asked for leverage or promotion within his department. He didn't get it. I say, you created this big structure here at USC for other people. Why don't you do it for yourself? So my sister, again, and I kind of talked him towards stepping away from USC. And so now we as a family help him run a consulting company. He's the doctor, he's the physician that sees the patients, but we help with that back end and like as far as the infrastructure and the marketing and the expansions, all of the new contracts, like, you know, my sister looks over them to make sure they're good. So it's really, like I said, it's a family business, but we co-own the medical company with him.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is, right?
Yeah, like
him in the business.
Yeah, like
that's the thing. Even with him, we get mad, you ain't going nowhere because my name is.
It's like you said too. With that, that's another powerful example for anybody. I'm pretty sure with that consulting firm, he got more time and he make more money than he did whenever he was messing around with USC, doing the exact same thing that them people was not paying him enough for.
You just said it. And the thing is, you're gonna be stressed out at a job. But if you're gonna be stressed out, if you're gonna be overworked, right? You might as well do it for yourself. You might as well decide when you're going to be stressed out. At least for me, when I'm with my business and I need a break, I just turn off my phone. You have a job, you can't just turn off, you can't just walk out. You can just, you know what I mean? So there's it's still a lot of work, but there's a flexibility that I have. When I want to step away, when I want to be with my family, I create that space. And if I had a job, you don't get to create that space for yourself.
You can take on the holidays too.
Yeah, ain't no family vacation. Ain't no questions about going on vacation. I just get to go.
Yeah.
Right. And I might have to work through my vacation, but at least I'm able to be with my family, right? And not have somebody else tell me, oh, no, you can't. And so he went through that. I mean, he was great. He was there for 20 years. He loved it until he realized, like, you know what? I am investing a lot into building a structure for somebody else and not really getting back what I would want out of it. So it was a natural progression, but he needed to be there for the 20 years that he was there.
I like that though.
No such thing as a wasted experience.
Yeah, you gotta take those time.
It teaches you. Yeah. So everything that he learned there, he's using right now in his business. So it's worth it.
And sometimes people don't understand that too. With whatever job like you're working, you should take whatever you're doing. You can transfer those skills into anything. It don't matter if you work in fast food, retail, like there's some basic unit that you can take and transfer over. Like if you're in fast food retail, you're in customer service. You are there to serve people. Like if you're doing whatever, if you're a service-based business, you can transfer that over. Like if I'm coming from fast food, I know what people want. If I want to go open up a restaurant, I can take the same thing like you said, and I can say, okay, this is what was going on really bad that I saw a lot of customers complain about. This is how I can maximize and make myself different. So like any job that you're working, I'm just speaking to the followers on this, like just learn and just take whatever you're trying to do. And if you want out that situation, just really figure out what have you been learning over these years and how you can use that to be successful.
Yeah. And I tell my girls all the time that work for me, if you're not a good employee, you're not going to be a good business owner. Because a good business owner, it's true. If you as an employee don't know that you have to be on time, you're not going to start doing it now because you own your business. Like you have to, this is like discipline. So some of my best employees I know would be great business owners. And the ones that feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I just want to own my own business. But if you don't train your mind, if you don't have the discipline as an employee, you'll never be a good business owner.
Give it to her.
It's true. I love this though.
This guy here.
I love that. That's real.
Like,
that's so real. Who you are in your 9 to 5 is exactly who you're going to be in your business.
And I actually think we had spoke about that on like a live recently, because like you said, you showing up to work late or you just dragging your feet. You don't have enough. You don't give it high energy or whatever. Like, how is that going to transfer to what you're doing? Because 9 times out of 10, the way that you act at your job or the way you act at home is how you're going to carry yourself. It's not about what's going on around you. It's about what's going on within you. So sometimes there's something going on within you that you need to fix before you can go ahead and start being successful.
That's a word.
I gotta be preaching on this Saturday.
No, for real. How you show up at work is how you show up in life. And your business becomes what you do. And it's a It's an arm of who you are. So if you come to work late, like you said, you come to work not dressed in uniform, that's how you're going to show up in your business. So I know I had to teach myself that. I'm like, girl, you talking about you want to have your own business? You can't even show up to this job on time. What you talking about? Like, you got to get it together. You really do. You have to prove it to yourself and be disciplined.
I like that.
I love it. So, Leah, I do have one more question before we get to the last segment of the show, and this is just asking with Married to Medicine. So, like, how'd you find your way on the TV? like what, you went from doing all these different business things, and then you just like, I'll be on the TV show. Like, how'd that happen?
I know, right? So it really did kind of just happen. So one of the stars of the show, Dr. Amani, and my husband worked together. And they did season 1. And when it was time for season 2 to come around, they were going to add another wife to the show. And so I had come up in a conversation and I was like, I don't think they're going to pick me. Like, I'm a little hood. Like I'm a little hood. I'm not like the other women. Like the other women on the TV show are a little bit more polished than me. I'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. Like I'm from Inglewood. Like I kind of just say whatever comes to my mouth, and I'm not extremely like cultured. So I went out for the casting, and they loved me, and I got put on the show. And it really was like a fluke. I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. I'm like, they're gonna see this girl from Inglewood who talks too much and talks too loud, and they're gonna be like, nah, you can't do it. But they selected me. But it was Dr. Amani, who's on the show, kind of connected me.
Yeah, that's dope. I gotta go check this show out.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Well, you got on demand or something like that. You could catch up on the old episodes. But yeah, it's interesting. It gets good around like episode 2 or 3. So watch episode like 2 or 3.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it out.
For sure. I have to check it out too. I'm gonna tell my mom we interviewed you too. She gotta know about this one. Might make her a little jealous. Be like, oh, you got to talk.